Hi there folks, this is just a really quick video to introduce you to one of my latest builds, the Cold Shell. I shared this build in my latest podcast and I'd like to talk about it some more. That's right, I do a Dauntless podcast where we talk about all sorts of different Dauntless related information with specific focus just now on the big update coming next year. So please feel free to check out the channel and check out that new podcast which I'm really enjoying making. So anyway, the Cold Shell is a build that I came up with not so long ago. And with Frostfall just around the corner, it'll suit really well with that winter theme. It's also a build that will work well with fairly newer players, because it's very forgiving. It's a very defensive build, but it allows you to utilise that defence for offence by breaking your shields, increasing your attack when you need to. The weapon I use is the Cold Hell crafted from the Urska, which is one of, if not the worst legendary weapons, which allows you to create a frost shield that blocks hostile projectiles, which is very underpowered in my opinion. However, being that it's legendary, it allows you to pick any cell which suits this build, and you can also bond it with the Frostwall's Rip, which is an integral part of this build. So Rip gives you +3 galvanised, and after using your lantern ability creates a geyser that frequently deals 65 frost damage, but more importantly it gives you that stackable 125 health shield that lasts for 25 seconds with a maximum 600 shield, so you want to be adding as much shield as possible to this build. And the cells I've added to the Cold Hell is the Pulse Cell and the Zeal Cell, with the concussive payload as the special. The body armour I've went for is the Core of Ice, which gives you +3 Fortress, and I've attached the +3 Earth Cell to that. The helm I've went for is the Wolf Mane, which gives you +3 Aegis, and the Earth Cell attached to it. For the arms I've went for the Chronogrips, which comes with +3 Pulse, and I've attached a +3 Aegis Cell to it. And for the legs, I went for the Agaric Roots, which comes with +3 Fortress, and I've attached a +3 Strategic Cell to it. Now tonics can be very important when you're wanting to deal high damage with a single hit. A 40% increase to your wound damage or an 18% increase to damage dealt makes a really big difference to higher amounts. For the Omni Cell, I've opted for the Bastion, which gives you a Shield Nova which allows you to consume all your shields and deal 175% of the amount consumed to nearby enemies with a cooldown of 30 seconds, and the passive ability allows you to increase all shields applied to you by 15%, and upon dealing damage you have a chance to grant yourself a 25 shield for 25 seconds with a maximum of 500 shields. For the Lantern, it has to be Skarn's Defiance, which allows you to deal 2500 terra damage to nearby enemies for 10 seconds, but also generates 30 hit point shields per second that expire after 25 seconds with a maximum of 600 shields, and I've attached the +3 Zeal Cell to that. Okay, so looking at my perk summary, we've got the +6 Aegis, which increases all shields received by 20%, and after gaining 1000 shields from any source, ignore the next incoming hit within the next 15 seconds. Then the +6 Air Cell, hitting a behemoth with a weapon attack while shields are over 200 will detonate all of your shields, depleting them and dealing damage equal to 400% of the value of the removed shield. After detonation, your shield will gain a 100 health shield. Then the +6 Fortress, after not taking hostile damage for 10 seconds, gain a 135 health shield, which stacks 3 times. The +6 Pulse, every 5th hit with your weapon is a critical strike, plus 15% critical strike damage. +6 Zeal, which gives you that 65% lantern ability effectiveness. And on top of that, +3 galvanised, for every 100 shield, gain 1% bonus critical strike chance. And +3 strategist, after dodging through an attack, grant a 100 health shield to all slayers. So as you can see, the aim of this build is to create as high a shield as quickly as possible. And then by using the Bastion Omni Cell at the right time, you can cause very high levels of damage by consuming your shields and then dealing it as area damage. I did think the Earth Cell would clash with that, and it does actually sound better because it does 400% damage when you consume your shields rather than the just 175% damage that the Bastion Omni Cell causes. However, I always find that the Omni Cell creates more damage. I think it's because it's area damage, whereas the Earth Cell is just a single hit, and it just seems to cause a little bit less damage. I took that out the build, but I feel like it's actually better within it. So each hit, which is over 200 shields, the Air Cell always consumes that shield and creates high levels of damage. And then when your Omni Cell is charged up, I find that I can create as much shield as possible by not hitting anything for a little while, and then using the Omni Cell ability to create a very good hit. I should also state that this build works extremely well with Defiant Stone perk, which you can get from Escalations. The Defiant Stone perk consumes all of your health but gives you an enormous amount of shields, and when you consume all that shields and dish it out as damage, you can usually just one hit any behemoth. So that'll about do it for today. If you do have any feedback, any questions or any constructive criticism, please feel free to leave it in the comment section below. And as I said, I do a Dauntless podcast where we talk about all sorts of things, and it's forming a pretty good community in the comment section. So please join us for that. As always, if you are new here, please feel free to like or subscribe to the channel. Until next time, see you later.